Hey, how's it going, everybody? It is Jazzy, the Video Store Sasquatch here, and we are doing another horror movie night reviews, kind of. This is more like I went to each streaming service, not each streaming service, but three streaming services, and kind of found their early Halloween movies that they're offering. Um, some of them already have pages up, like HBO Max, Peacock, and Netflix all already do. We're getting into the next month of when everything starts, so it doesn't surprise me. We're going to start here with the Amityville Horror, directed by Andrew Douglas, starring Ryan Reynolds, Melissa George, Jimmy Bennett, and Jesse James. Newlyweds are terrorized by a demonic force after moving into a large house that was the site of a grisly mass murder a year before. This movie came out on April 15th, 2005, had a budget of $19 million, an opening of $23.5 million, and a gross of $107.5 million. So, I mean, it made its money for sure, 100%, especially worldwide. I believe it was already three times the money if I looked at it right. I think it was like 60 million for what it made in theaters in the U.S. This is a very popular movie. I remember when it came out. This is like a year before I started Blockbuster, but or no, it might have been 2 years before I started Blockbuster. Actually, to be honest with you, I remember this movie when it came out. I probably honestly have not seen this movie since it came out. I forgot that the little girl here was Chloe Grace Moretz, and the babysitter, honestly, played by Rachel Nichols, and her like little role there was very terrifying. Philip Baker Hall makes an appearance in this movie. There's a lot to like about this movie. We start with the original gruesome murders, where the guy literally goes through the house, supposedly haunted or possessed by a witch or whatever you believe, through that superstitious stuff. That is your choice. He murdered the family one by one in each room separately, and then the town kind of had to move on and everything. We eventually run into the Lutz family. The main Lutzes are played by Melissa George and Ryan Reynolds. Um, they are looking for a house. They find this, of course, beautiful, amazing, huge house with a big family because they have three kids. They decide to take it on. It's cheaper than everything else. They ask the realtor why, and they kind of get the explanation. And then from there, we see Chloe Grace Moretz, the youngest one, start to see the youngest daughter from the original family, which would have been Jody, and she starts bringing it up to her family and stuff like this. And as that is happening, like we start to see spooky shit, and then the babysitting incident, and it moves on, and we kind of see how everything is. But honestly, I think that the ending is the only thing that kind of lags here. I think it's kind of anticlimactic, but I think that Ryan Reynolds is very good in this. I think Melissa George is very good in this. The kids are all good in it. Chloe Grace Moretz is definitely like playing way above her age in this movie, as she did in Kick Ass and other movies when she was younger. This is definitely worth a watch. It is on HBO Max. If I did not say that, this is the first one that we're talking about, and that is the Amityville Horror, directed by Andrew Douglas. The second movie we're going to talk about here is When a Stranger Calls, directed by Simon West, starring Camille Bell, Tommy Flanagan, Katie Cassidy, and Tessa Thompson. During a babysitting gig, a high school student is harassed by an increasingly threatening praying caller. It came out February 3rd, 2006. Had a budget of 15 million, had an opening of 21.6, and a gross of 67.7 million dollars. Kind of surprised just with that gross that we didn't ever see the second one. Maybe we did, and I went straight to DVD, and I just didn't notice it. I don't even remember this movie honestly from 2006, and it is a PG-13 garbage movie from that time period that they tried to pull off a lot with these horror movies. Yeah, literally like no scares. I believe it's a remake of an old movie on top of it. It literally had like no murder in it, but it had like all the, um, like going to the other room or all the kill scenes, or the one kill scene I guess is a cut kill scene. I guess there's two because Kid Cassidy dies too. I was very shocked to learn that Chibs was the stranger. I thought that was kind of awesome. I think that there's definitely a way that internet community can make a fan theory to connect Chibs to that movie to make sure you playing the character the whole time. Brian Garrity pops up in this. Clark Gregg pops up in this, and Dave Dunham also pops up in this movie. It's actually kind of a small cast. The one other question I have about this movie is where are the kids the whole time? It's like until like the last 10 minutes that the girl finally like was worried about the kids that she was babysitting and responsible for during this whole time period. The house is like just set up for a horror movie too. Like I don't know why people would buy a house like that if they're just. I mean, I know why people buy a house like this. It's fucking awesome, but it's just gonna be a horror movie house for someone that especially isn't from there. There's a lot of interesting stuff. David Dunham, if you don't know who that is, it is Roy. So Roy kind of pops up at the end as the sheriff and saves her. I think that there's another like fan theory thing that we could definitely do there as an internet community. Let me know your best fan theory in the comments below. This movie, honestly, is probably not worth the watch, but it is something that Peacock is offering. It's probably like early, like Universal or early stuff like that from them, especially in 2006 when they did try to make a lot of PG-13 horror movies in that like 2005, 2015 era when they kind of realized that it's just the PG-13 movies aren't worth doing at all, especially in horror movies. It just doesn't make sense. Like I said, this movie is on Peacock, and if you want to check it out, go ahead. It is When a Stranger Calls, directed by Simon West. And the last one we're going to talk about here is Things Heard and Seen, directed by Sherry Springer Berman and Robert Bolzini, starring Amanda Seyfried, James Norton, Natalie Dyer, and Alex Neufester. A woman begins a suspect at her home, harbors a dark secret. It came out on April 29th of 2021. This is actually the newest movie on here. It is from a Netflix. It's a Netflix original, so there is no budget numbers or opening day numbers or gross numbers. I would guess that this movie didn't even get onto the top 10 when it came out in April 29th of 2021. I don't remember hearing about this movie, and there are two actresses that like normal people would talk about, especially at the time, because Amanda Seyfried would have been doing that show about the Thanos show about the Blood Girl, who ripped off billions of dollars. And then Dyer, of course, is from Stranger Things. He figured Netflix would market it a little bit better. F. Marie Adams shows up in this. Rhea Seehorn shows up in this from Breaking, or from Better Call Saul. And Michael O'Keefe pops up in this. He's in a couple of movies. You notice him as he pops up as the sheriff. This movie is all right. I mean, it's definitely a slow burn. I wouldn't say it's all right, but it's like if you like, it has like it's a slow burn. It's only like hour 40 minutes, I believe. All these movies are pretty short. It has an interesting like story because we're kind of learning about the husband and the wife, and then like it kind of just goes off into a whole different direction than you think it's going to be. And all these movies, all these movies actually reminded me of what Aaron or whatever her name said from The Office. Like I really like the part where it's a happy family, and then it kind of jumps off to evilness, and that's what this movie does. The husband definitely kind of goes crazy. I think that part of the problem is it had two directors in it. I think that when we see these two director duos, it is not favorable for them because it just splits the story and it splits the imagination into two different people of what the story is supposed to be and what everything's supposed to be. So it does kind of like water down all this. But if you are interested in like a haunted house movie or something like that, and you like Netflix original movies, this is something you can check out. It does kind of have a little bit of a pop to the end. It's not like a huge explosion like we would like to see in a slow burn, but there is a pretty good pop. There is like a good story in there. Like if we could take out 45 minutes from this movie, it'd probably be like a perfect movie to be honest with you. And it has nothing to do with the acting or nothing like that. It's just a really slowly paced story. And all of a sudden it speeds up, and I think that's also part of it. And I think that the whole time that we're telling the story, there's also like two different minds telling the story, and it doesn't work. So that movie is on Netflix, like I said, and is a Netflix original, and that is Things Heard and Seen, directed by Sherry Springer Berman and Robert Pulcini. That is our horror movie night for the week. I think we're gonna go see The Long Road or Long Walk or whatever the Stephen King movie is that's coming out this week. So we will have a horror movie for the Monday night review on Sunday, and that will probably pretty much end our week. We have one more day with streaming Saturday movies. Thank you guys very much for watching, and please have a good rest of your day or night. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Comment your top movie picks for Throwback Thursday in the comment section, and see you next time in the cave.